In this lesson, we're going to learn about the join construct, and in particular, the inner join construct. And as you'll learn from the lesson this week, joining tables is the idea of relating two or more tables together based on common column or columns. So if there's common columns across tables, they can be joined together in one select statement to produce even more robust and meaningful output. So we're going to focus on the inner join in this lesson. And as you'll see here, I have a few queries to go over with you. And the first query is an inner join of two tables. Now, what is an inner join? An inner join is saying that I want to find all the records that are matching on the two or more tables that I'm joining on the columns that are common across. So if the column appears in table 1, in this case, table 1 is the customer table. It also appears in table 2, which is the payment table. Based on customer ID matching, I want to show it in here. So an inner join is in a Venn diagram, it's where the two tables intersect and the circles overlap in the middle. Okay, it appears in both. So I'm joining the customer table in this query on an inner join to the payment table. And if you look at the columns here, you'll notice that there's a column called customer ID that is common between payment and customer. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in this join. So the syntax is the from statement, the first table, inner join the second table, and then the on clause, and then what is the column you're joining with. You can say customer.customer ID equals payment.customer ID, or like I have here, payment.customer ID equals customer.customer ID. The order does not matter. I'm also throwing in an order by clause to order this result by customer ID. So let's see how this works out. In the output, you'll see that I'm having columns from both the customer table and the payment table. So if you look at the customer ID, first name, last name, email, that's all from the customer table. And then the amount column is from the payment table, as well as the payment date. You may ask, why do I have the column customer ID denoted by customer.customer ID? Because could you just do this, customer ID? If we tried running that, the SQL engine would come back saying ambiguous column reference, because customer ID is called that in two different tables. So you have to actually specify which table you want it from. So I'm saying I want the customer ID from the customer table. Since they're equivalent, we're joining them. It doesn't really matter which one you put here, but you do have to specify which one. Same thing by the order by as well. Order by customer.customer ID. So let's look at now inner join on three tables. That was an example of two tables. Let's bring in a third table here, the staff table. So whenever there's a payment taken, it looks like there's a staff ID associated with that payment, and that person in staff collects that payment. So let's join in on staff ID. And so we have pretty much a similar query. We have columns that are similar to last time. Some are slightly different, but we're adding in now the staff first name and staff last name into the query that we have down here to see which staff member took the payment. And the inner joins are just chained together. So we have the inner join to payment, still on customer ID, and then we have the inner join to staff, this time on staff ID between payment and staff, because there's a common column, staff ID in both. So let's run this. And you'll see that we actually have quite a number of rows, about 15,000 rows total in the database. And we've added now the first name and last name of the staff member who took the payment to the last query as well. So that's an inner join of three tables, and you can just do that to as many tables as you need. Last inner join I want to show you is including an aggregation function. So we learned aggregation last week, and I want to do which sales staff member is selling the most, is renting the most out. So I want to see staff member's last name and the amount they've taken in payments. Notice that I'm using the sum clause here. I'm also using the group by on last name because I want to group the sum by last name. And I'm ordering by sales, descending. And I also have done an alias function here. I've named the payment amount as sales. So when I do an order by here, I can actually refer to it as sales. So let's run this. And we'll see here that there's two salesmen, Stevens and Hillier. And looks like Stevens has slightly more sales than Hillier. And that's why the order by puts him on top, or her. And also notice that the column name is sales. I've renamed that column sales by using the as sales here. Otherwise, it would say sum of payment amount. If I just remove that and run this again, I'll actually have to change this down here as well because I've taken away the naming of the column. And let's run this. Okay, so it looks like it's just coming up with the word sum actually, abbreviated completely. So we don't really know what the sum is. So having the as sales is quite nice because it actually shows the name of the column. That's our inner clause or inner join lesson for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.